Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm looking at Nevermind the Distraction, and disclaim that I was sent a review copy of this one. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. You can also listen to our podcast for reviews and design discussions, or join the conversation and come say hi on our Discord. So Nevermind the Distraction is a very interesting game. In fact, in some ways I would not even call it a full game. It is trying to model some of the core ideas of meditation, which is something I've done often in my life. And I will say just off the bat, I think the game does a nice job of modeling kind of the core ideas of this activity. Now, if you want to make it more of a game and more of a challenge, you can play it higher and higher difficulty levels. Mainly what that's going to do is, as these little marker tokens come out, they're going to have little special powers you have to deal with. But I'm only playing on the second lowest difficulty level, so this is mainly just a mindfulness activity instead of a full-on mechanical game. But I'll still talk you through the basics of how the game plays, which is consistent throughout the rest of the higher difficulty levels. So basically these cards, and there's a whole bunch of different sets of cards with different art that's really evocative and interesting. These cards represent the thoughts that are sort of floating around in your mind as you're trying to meditate, right? So when you're trying to focus on your breathing, trying to let distractions go in your brain, trying to let go of thoughts, these thoughts are going to crop up anyway as these cards flip over and these pictures appear in your mind, and you're going to try to let them go and move on. Basically, what you're trying to do is get every card to be face down white with one of these glass beads or plastic beads on top of it. And that represents that you've let the thoughts go and you were able to successfully focus on your breathing. Although I will say the rulebook says, just kind of enjoy the activity and breathe as you play it. And winning or losing shouldn't be the primary goal. But I'm going to try to win. You usually have a mind phase first where you draw one of these mind cards. It's going to show you one card in the little tableau of 8. This card is never impacted by these. That's going to advance and kind of get worse, become more distracting to your meditation. But you skip that in the first rounds. We're not going to draw a mind card right now. And then you have the watcher phase where you're trying to slowly let go of your thoughts. So what are your options? First of all, you cannot interact with at all these cards that are both face down and don't have a marker next to them. Those are subliminal thoughts that your consciousness has not even become aware of yet. So you can't take an action with them. Instead, we choose to activate one of the cards like this that do have tokens next to them. And basically what you're doing is you're taking one of these actions to lower the intensity of your thought, and then you're going to do another mind phase, which will raise the intensity of thought, and then you're going to lower it again. So it's really a tug of war, a push and pull between your focus on breath and your ability to meditate successfully, and these thoughts trying to come in and distract you from that activity. So cards that have a picture face up and have a bead next to them but not on them are called just thoughts. This is the second highest level of intensity. You are actively thinking about this. I guess here I'm thinking about the weather or something. And if I use my watcher turn to impact this card, I flip it face down to where it is an acknowledged thought. I'm like, okay, I heard you. I know that thought was there. So the bead is still next to it, but it's face down. And that's my entire watcher phase. So now we go to the mind phase. We're going to, again, do a card for them, an action for us. A card for them, an action for us. So so this is a not so great one. Whichever card in the pattern it indicates, in this case this one, is going to intensify and get worse. So now this thought, which had the bead next to it, becomes a distraction. Our brain is actively latching onto that instead of letting us focus on our breathing. So not only is that going to be now harder to let go and refocus on breath, but also that forces us, whenever a bead gets placed onto a card and becomes a distraction, to discard one time card. These are just more of the picture cards from other sets, because the game gives you a whole bunch of different artistic sets to use for the cards in the pattern. But yeah, so I've lost one time card. If time ever runs out, then I lose the game. Although, again, I shouldn't be using the words like losing and winning, but the game stops if time runs out. Basically, I set myself, 15 minutes to meditate, and the 15 minutes has run up. Now, additionally, I will lose another time card. Another time card will be discarded if this same card in the pattern is drawn again while it's a distraction. So as long as I leave that bead there, or when that bead first moves onto it, I'm losing time. And then additionally, although we won't see this for a while, when I let go of a thought and sort of conquer it and get the bead onto it, which is what my main goal is, that will also cause time to be lost. And yeah, there's an interesting situation because normally you have several options of what you can do. But importantly, whichever card was last impacted by the mind card, in this case, this one, cannot be chosen as your action for the turn. And remember, I'm not aware of these subliminal cards yet, so I can't choose them either. So I have to take an action for this card, which is probably going to be wasted, as you'll see in a moment. But yes, when I have a card that is acknowledged with the bead next to it, but it being face down, I can focus on my breath. And what I do is I take the bead and I put it right on this breath central card here to show that I am focusing on my breathing. And this is basically a gamble that I'll be able to breathe and eventually let go of that thought completely. But it's probably not going to happen because if you get a new thought added in, if you have a card selected by the mind card that does not yet have a token next to it, then not only do I add a token now, so this is no longer a subliminal thought, and flip it up so it's become a full-on thought, but the bead, instead of coming from the general supply, comes from my breath. So I was trying to focus on my breath, trying to let this thought go, but nope, now I'm thinking about, I don't know, landslides or something. All right, so that's unfortunate, but we just got to keep on breathing and keep going with it. So I can't mess with this card, and I can't mess with this one anymore either because that thought has become subliminal again. I sort of let it go, but I haven't really completely let it go because the bead was stolen. So the only one I can impact or interact with is this one. I'm going to notice that I'm distracted and move it back to being a thought. All right, and you've seen almost all the mechanics. So whenever a new card that has no token is called for, you flip it up. Now I'm thinking about water or ice. So, and this also gets a new bead since there was no bead in the breed. That is get it from the supply. All right, so I can't interact with that one. Well, let's try to acknowledge this thought. Start letting that go. And whoops, we got a new thought. Thinking about sand dunes. And again, if I was playing on a higher difficulty, these icons would actually have each of them a different rule and would kind of impact the game in different ways. We're not going that deep right now. All right, let's acknowledge another thought. I like to acknowledge as many thoughts as I can before I try to actually let go of them completely. Oh my gosh. See, the tug of war. I tried to acknowledge that thought. It got brought right back. All right, well, let's acknowledge the sand dunes then. And okay, that one came right back. Jeez. All right, let's acknowledge this one. And no. It's funny when I'm playing this game and trying to, like, as the rulebook suggests, just sort of breathe with it and get into, like, sort of a Zen state with it. It's funny how the game actually does sort of model the frustration because my breath gets interrupted and I curse or have some strong reaction when the card just gets flipped right back again. Okay, so I got a new thought here. I will say strategically, like putting away the whole meditation aspect of the game, strategically I usually try to let every thought be revealed, have like nothing subliminal, before I start trying to breathe into it, because that way you don't have new thoughts being revealed and that bead being stolen from the breath. Okay, so what do I want to do now? I mean, I have almost everything. You know, let's go ahead and take a chance, and let's try to focus on breath again to let go of something. Gosh darn it, that was a bad idea, because now this is stealing it too. So again, the bead comes from here. We'll have one unacknowledged. Okay, well, let's do it anyway. I'm going to try to focus on breath again. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Oh, no, it's not going to be great because this, since I had focused on breath before, now got its bead stolen as well. All right, well, let's try to acknowledge some thoughts instead. Oh, there's a distraction. We take time, but I'm not going to focus on that yet. Let's keep acknowledging these thoughts, letting them go to the periphery. Okay, there's another bead there. Okay, let's acknowledge this one. Eventually, I'm going to have to shuffle this deck, and when you do, you kind of just randomly rotate the cards. So these cards can be, orientated in any way. Orientated? That's not a word. Oriented in any way you might like. All right, I have almost all the... let's breathe again. Let's breathe and let go. Okay, so I did get a distraction, but since I didn't get a new card needing a new bead, a new thought popping up, then my breath is successful. So whenever this doesn't get stolen, your next action is required to be letting go. And that means you have to take this and put it on any currently subliminal thought, anyone that has a token or not, but does not have any bead anywhere with it. So I'll just go ahead and do it on this one. And this thought is now released. That is gone out of my mind, which the beautiful thing about that is, that does also take a time though. The beautiful thing about this is now if that particular spot is called for by a mind card, it does nothing. It becomes a free turn. So that's really like the goal here, to fully release thought so that eventually you can just kind of do your thing and get through the meditation successfully. All right, but that was my turn. Okay, that thought is back. Let's acknowledge this thought. And, man, okay, so whenever you get one that's already a distraction, you just lose another time card. And after my action, I'm going to have to shuffle those. I should get rid of the distractions. Well, now let's try to release another one. I'm going to breathe here. All right, what have we got? Ah, darn it. Okay. That other one stole my beat. All right, let's try to breathe again. Breathe again. Oh, we lose another time, but then we can let go. We'll do that one, and we lose another time for that. Oh, yeah, you can see how this game is tough. If you can get beads on every single card and successfully let go of all of them before time runs out, that's called like a Zen Master, and then they suggest you move on to the next difficulty. Oh, and I didn't say the second difficulty level, like the first one that comes up after you just beat the basic game, they suggest, is if at any time there is a bead on every card, whether that's a distraction bead or a let go bead, the meditation immediately ends and you score. Crud. Oh, I flipped a card. Yeah. And then I let go. Did I flip another card? I don't think I did. I think it's still... Okay, that was cool. So nothing happens there because that's already let go. That's already a released thought. Okay, let's try to acknowledge some things. Oh, geez, another time. Okay, just breathe, Mike. Just breathe. Here we go. And that's great. Thank you for taking the thought that I just did. Okay, we'll acknowledge that one. And okay... Yeah, sometimes it just seems like the game has it out for you, doesn't it? Oh my gosh, another time. Okay. I'm trying to get as many of these like flip before I start breathing. Beautiful. Got a free turn there. All right, let's do that one. And all right, that thought comes back, but now we can acknowledge this one. And oh, another free one. Awesome. Let's acknowledge this one. And okay, that one gets a bead. All right, let's try to breathe again. We're in a decent spot right now. And, okay, that thought comes back, but it does not steal the bead, so I can put this only on here. There we go. It does cost a time, but we've released another one. Oh, but this one is a distraction. Another time for us. So let's acknowledge that. And it comes right back. Let's let go of the distraction. And we lose more time. So I want to acknowledge this. And nothing. And then before I shuffle... let's acknowledge this one as well. And awesome. Okay. So we're in a decent place. Let's breathe again. Let's breathe again, right? Doop. And okay, that thought comes back, but the breath has released that one. And hey, let's breathe again. I'm feeling whoops, I had to lose a time there. And oh man, really? Brought the exact same thing back. It's okay. Let's breathe this one. How about that? And oh my gosh. Stop it, game. Stop it. I'm just trying to focus on my breath here. Okay. All right. Acknowledge you. And that's another time. And then I'm going to breathe here. And what? Okay, stop. So like I said, it's kind of fun when you're just like getting into the game that it again sort of models, for better or worse, the feelings of actual what the douche? Are y'all watching this? Y'all watching like this deck come after? Gosh, another distraction. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get a perfect score this time. All right, let's breathe. Try to let go. Try to release. No! Why? Okay, it's fine. Let's acknowledge you. That's good. There we go. Let's breathe into that one. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm very close to the instant loss, aren't I? So instead of breathing, let's acknowledge that one. Oh, and it comes right back. Okay, and let's, I don't know, notice that one. Good. Let's notice this one. Good. Let's acknowledge this one. It comes right back. Let's acknowledge the sand. Okay, and all right, let's breathe now. I think this is maybe safe. Oh my gosh. Okay. And okay, it's fine. All right. Acknowledge you. And beautiful. Breathe into it. And it's a distraction. That's not great, but I did still do that. Oh gosh, yeah, I'm definitely not going to get a perfect score. It's okay. It's not about that, right? Wait, I just let go, so yeah, I don't think I actually flipped a card yet. Oh my gosh. Wow. All right, well, let's see if we can get like one more breath gone before Oh, nope, there's a distraction. Okay, so our meditation has ended. And yeah, you would just like see. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. Let go. So 6 out of 9. Not a perfect score. But it's not about that, right? It's just about letting the breath happen. Yeah, so that is Nevermind the Distraction. Definitely an interesting take on sort of trying to represent an activity that I think is very interesting. The whole idea of meditating and letting go of thoughts. I think it achieves that pretty well. The different like artworks and things they have in the game are quite pretty and interesting. Now, should you come into this game for like a mechanical experience, at the highest difficulty levels, I think it does become more interesting. But at the same time, I think having this be a highly mechanical experience is kind of counter to what the game is going for, and they want you to just be able to sort of be in a flow state and just play and go and breathe and not think about things too much. So yeah, I think it's definitely an interesting thought experiment, and I've enjoyed my time with it. But, if you're a hardcore gamer, no. Nevermind the Distraction is not what you should be looking for. I would actually compare this most heavily to something like A Gentle Rain. I think it has somewhat of a similar focus as that game and, gives sort of a similar feel. But I'm glad I got to play it, and I hope you enjoyed watching this goofy little video. Probably one of the weirder ones I've done on the channel. But thanks, everybody. Good gaming, and I'll see you at the next stop.